to.
Yeah, but Arsenal has just low standards. It doesn't really count. I'm talking about a big club, innit? Like,
Face of the public, Ollie's fine. It's just nah, stop it, guys.
What's happening, people, and welcome to Grounded Football. Today I have Ladimus Prime, Guna Express, and Hassam joining me. How are we doing, boys? Oh, guys.
Yeah, doing good. Doing good.
Good. Just have mosquitoes everywhere pissing me off since the morning. But besides that, all good.
Really? Mosquitoes? Is that the context?
Yes.
We're not starting this.
Prime, don't start this now, please.
Underwatch, Prime.
Yes.
Yeah, we do have a few things to get through today, guys, actually. Obviously, Chelsea bid for Hakimi. I believe it was 60 million, and they matched PSG's bid. Paul Merson has said that England can win the Euros. Erling Haaland could be going to Chelsea. There's obviously the Super League stuff that's come out. Basically, all the teams got hit with a slap on the wrist, basically. There was no real punishment. And yeah, there's so much to get through. So we're going to start off with... Oh, and obviously there's the potential Arsenal takeover as well, which we can start with. So Guna, talk to me. How do you feel about this potential Arsenal takeover, and do you think it is likely?
Well, personally, obviously I want it. I don't like the Cronkies. I don't like Stan or Josh. And I would, at this point, I'd take anybody. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that still support the Cronkies that say, how do we know X is going to do this? How do you know he's going to do that? And at the end of the day, you don't know. But I'd rather try with Ek than keep failing with Kroenke. So for me, I don't think it will go through yet, but I'd definitely prefer him.
Yeah, no, I think it's quite positive news if he's coming in again with another bid. I think it is. So I think that's really good for you guys. Obviously, Hassam, you're a Liverpool fan. What do you think, looking from the outside in? Do you think this could potentially be a good thing for Arsenal? Do you think it could go through?
Yes, and I think some clubs obviously think maybe there's the risk of the unknown, but with the Cronkies, it's genuinely the worst ownership group in the Premier League. So you can't go there's no level below the worst. That's just the worst level of ownership you can find. I think Arsenal got to a Europa League final and Stan Kroenke didn't even go to the final. He sent his son, which is madness because that's just a sign of disrespect. And I think they're running the club into the ground. And some people claim that within 6 or 7 years, Arsenal could even go down if this continues, which when you look at it in retrospect isn't that mad because the levels have just been going down and down and down and down. So I think what Gunnar said there is perfectly true. It doesn't matter at this point. You just get whoever, and you get the guy who sells kebabs down the streets to run Arsenal, and just try it with him rather than keep Kroenke because it's just going nowhere with Kroenke.
Yeah, no, the Cronkies they are really, really terrible owners, to be honest with you. Prime, I know you don't want Arsenal to get a new owner. I'm sure you're very happy with what the Cronkies have done to Arsenal. But what do you think of the takeover?
I want them to get this Daniel Eka. He's not going to improve them massively. First of all, when he starts coming out and saying stuff like, "Oh, guys, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm one of you," that makes that, for one, I'm quite skeptical about it, and two, it's like is this guy as rich as Roman or the Sheikhs? Does this guy have as much money as... I know the Glazers don't run United well, but you guys do still spend money on the occasion. You can get the right player, Pogba or whatever. You guys, does he have more money to spend than United? Does he have the resources or even the will to pull you guys to fighting back at the top table, or is he just going to try and get you guys to being a top 4 club? I don't know. Again, I wouldn't fully trust it, but for Arsenal fans, it's different, and it's not going to be the Glazers, so they're going to 100% back it without really thinking about it properly.
No, that's fair enough. I understand what you're saying, but I think because of how bad the Cronkies have actually ran Arsenal in the last few years, I think at this point, someone who actually cares about the club is just a big positive. I think even if he doesn't have as much money as, say, Roman or the other clubs you mentioned, I think his intentions will be good because he actually supports and loves the club, whereas the Cronkies probably don't really care. All they care about is the money. So yeah,
But
that would make sense.
what makes you think he loves and supports the? I mean, we say that he does, but he's also a businessman, and business comes first.
No, of course, but you can still be a businessman and try and benefit the club, if you know what I mean. He's not gonna do anything to the detriment of Arsenal, because Arsenal still have, good revenue and whatnot. They still make money. They're still a big club in that respect. So he's just that he will basically come in and sort of invest wisely, as opposed to just having the wrong people in charge. You'll probably put the right people in place to help make the club successful. I'd imagine that's how I would view it. Whereas the Cronkies haven't made any intention of doing that. So there's a bit of a difference, isn't there?
You'd like to hope so, but even then, it's like all that money doesn't guarantee you everything. Like even City, the money they had, it still took them, what is it, like 4 or 5 years into it before they got Pep, and even with Pep, it still took him another year of building that side. It takes time. Success doesn't really happen overnight. I mean, people say with Chelsea, but it even took us about about a year or two, right? Roman bought us, and we had Ranieri for a year, and then we brought in Mourinho and won. But if Arsenal had invested that summer after being invincible, maybe Chelsea wouldn't have won the league. We don't know. Like, as you can do everything as a club, but the context of everyone else around you also matters. The last few years, if Chelsea had invested correctly with Conte, or maybe even with Mourinho, even though people might have said he's just falling off, who's to say City would have won the titles they've won? If last season City didn't fall off and they had bought a centre back, or a quality centre back that they needed, who's to say Liverpool would have won the league? Like, context with everything and other clubs especially matter. You can't just focus on you can't just say, oh, we've done this, then we have to do this. That doesn't necessarily matter. You have to look at the other things around you, because that can determine sometimes where you end up or just how good you could possibly finish. If that makes sense.
I understand all of that. That's fair enough, to be honest. Gunnar, what do you think about that? Do you agree with Prime?
Well, I mean, the argument that obviously the thing about financially competing, I get it's a thing, because when you look at his net worth initially, you think, oh, it's nowhere near the likes of obviously the guys at City. It's not even close to the guys at Villa. Obviously, I think they're the third richest owners in the Premier League at this point. But for me, it's not always about how much money an owner has. It's about how they spend it. We've seen it with Man United. The Glazers are pretty rich. They've got money. They spend the money, but they're not spending it in the right areas. But then you got, on the other hand, Leicester. They don't. I think they actually have less net worth than Eck. Yet they're still competing. They still won a title. They still won an FA Cup. They're still challenging for Champions League. They're still bringing in great players. They've got one of the best, if not the best, scouting system in the country. So again, if you have passionate owners who care and who are willing to put the money in the right places, and you can succeed. And as well, what people need to realise of Daniel Ek, he's not doing this alone. He has got a consortium, and apparently he's got Saudi Arabian backers. Some saying it's Flamini, who's a billionaire as well. We don't know. But it's not just him. So there's money elsewhere as well. And another thing is, he's a big part owner of Spotify. And that company is growing in insane rates. Like the net worth of that company is going to double pretty much in the next, I'd say, 10 years, which means his net worth will double, because his shares that he owns, yes, they'll still be, I think, about 8%, but the worth of those shares will double. So it all depends on his other assets. And again, his main asset, Spotify, is doing really, really well. I'm hoping that thing saying he's got Saudi Arabian backers with him, because I think we need one of those. That's what I want, is a big money Saudi Arabian owner. I don't care about the oil money rubbish. At the end of the day, winning trophies, you don't care. That's why City fans don't care when people call them an oil club, because they're winning things. Nor would I care. So
yeah,
I want an owner who's going to have ambition. And I get that, like what Prime said, I get the point about business comes first. But being a fan, and he is a fan, nobody can question that he isn't, because there's tweets from years ago, before he was even a billionaire, of him slandering the club and saying, oh, this is trash and we're not doing well and this and that. So I do think he's a fan. And there's always going to be that thing in the back of his mind, like nibbling at him, just saying, I really should make this decision for the business, but for Arsenal, I shouldn't. And then I think that will kind of overcome it. So, again, I get what Prime's saying, and I agree to an extent, but I think with more context, again, mainly the fact that he owns Spotify are a big part of it. I don't think the money's a big issue as of right now. I mean, it could be a big issue in the future, and you don't know. But I mean, again, anything that you say about top 4 club right now, that's not my ambitions. But would I take top 4 club over what we have now? Of course I would. So it's somewhat of an improvement, and hopefully you can build from that.
You said thinking like a fan as opposed to a billionaire. Sometimes, like for example, people. Let's talk about Roman and when he first bought us, that he's not going to stay for long and stuff. He doesn't care about Chelsea. He does care, and I would say he is a Chelsea fan or became one over the years. But he, rightly or wrongly, for some people's opinion, he runs Chelsea as a business, and at times it is, or a lot of the time, it is quite ruthless, and he does take the emotion out of it. And for example, if we had someone running the club that was a fan, would they have sacked Lampard like that? Probably not. Or would they, for example, go and buy someone like Holland who would stop the growth and development for someone like Tammy Abraham? Probably not. So I think he's a fan and he wants the best for Arsenal, which, I mean, from your point of view, is great. But will he be able to run the club and think logically as a business at times when needs be, instead of just thinking as a fan and saying, oh, someone like I like Bellerin, he came through our academy, let's give him a chance, as opposed to go out and buy a right back who's better out there or something like that, you know? That's a weird example.
But that's for me is where the ex-legends come in, the likes of Henry, Bergkamp and Vieira, especially Henry. Yeah. I think, and again, I think all 3 of them, but for me, Henry is the main highlight. They know what it's like to succeed with the club. They know that it takes, that ferocity, that no sentiment bullshit. Because I'm sick of the sentiment at Arsenal, from the top to the bottom. That's the owners to the fans. There's so much stupid sentiment. Like, some people still backing Granit Xhaka like he's crap. Just let him go. Stop backing him. He's going. Just leave it now. And it's the same thing with even the likes of Emi Martinez. Like, he's not our player anymore. So why are you worrying so much about him? But I think that, again, especially Henry will read that out, because they know what it's like to succeed. They know it takes a lot of ferocity and that savageness, essentially. And that they'll have seen that with Chelsea. There's a famous quote from Evra this season. Henry turned the TV off because he didn't like Xhaka as captain. Like, that says it all for me. That he's not just going to sit there and say, oh, because he came through the academy, or oh, because this and that. If they're not good enough, they don't play. We sell them or we don't buy them, and that's it. And obviously, they're not the best business-minded people, but we're not, like Arsenal fans right now, we want more football-minded people in the club over the business-minded. So if we bring in the likes of an Eck and hopefully his consortium who are business-minded, then you just leave the likes of Bergkamp, Vieira, Henry, and they're saying that Zidane is their main manager that they want to bring in. And in fact, they've actually contacted him and asked him to hold off from getting a new job in hopes that he can become the Arsenal manager. We know that he's he's the same thing. He's no bullshit. Like, you're a shit player. You're gone. That's it. So I think that from what they're saying and what they're looking at bringing in, it says to me that they're bringing people in to weed out that sentiment. And that's what we need right now. We're a sentiment club. Let's look at the past and look at the good times instead of looking at what's right now. And that's where we aren't good right now. Yeah. So hopefully again, I personally think it'll happen. It might not happen. We don't know. And obviously first he's got to buy the club. So he's got to put his money where his mouth is. So see what happens. But
sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting time for Arsenal, that's for sure. But we are going to quickly speak about this. It's the history of the Tottenham. Apparently,
this is so funny. Oh, they're so banter. They're just the epitome of banter, literally.
Yeah. So I can't remember his name, but he is the former Roma manager. So the very manager that Jose Mourinho has just replaced. I don't know much about this manager.
Was it Fonseca or is that someone?
Yeah, it says here. Yeah. Paulo Fonseca. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him as a manager, so I can't speak on him. But
Trash.
what what do we think of this appointment? Apparently, there are talks underway, and it seems quite.
Palo spaghetti.
Paulo
It-
Spaghetti, wow. Yo, Vibes FC, big up your comments, man.
Yeah,
I was
vibes are
I was
decent,
trying to
man.
hold myself when he said Evra snitching on Sky Sports. I tried to hold myself from
Vibes
laughing.
and Dizzy are the best commenters you will ever see in a chat, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
so
They're
good.
great.
Vibes FC, big
You
up
know
your
what?
damn
I
self.
think I'll be honest. Dizzy rivals Vibes. I'll be honest. Dizzy is elite.
Yeah, they're
Dizzy's
both
commentaries.
sick. They're both sick.
Yeah, they are definitely. But
Man, Tottenham Football Club, like, well, what can we say at this point? Like, hands down, the worst decision in the last 10 years is sacking Mourinho 3 days before a final. What, arguably worse than the Phil Jones contract, arguably worse than any other decision in football history. Sacking Mourinho 2 days before
Sacking
a final.
Poch was their worst mistake.
And then Mourinho goes to replace someone, and they get the someone he went to replace to manage them. Like how? Like what can you even say at this point? Like, and the problem is they were linked with Conte, which is who is a respectable manager in Europe, in the world, everywhere. People respect him at least. He would have came in, changed the club. Even arguably, if he got a Sarri, it
way.
would have been better. So many better options. Eddie Howe would have been better. I don't care. Craig Potter would have been better. So many better things. And they go get the guy. Like they fired someone, and the someone they fired is going to replace the guy they actually got, which is madness. Like Tottenham, there's not more to say on that. Like they're just run so shit, man. Like the structure there and everything is just horrible.
Rachel, I can sum
Yeah.
up Fonseca in one tweet. It says here that Paolo Fonseca, or whatever his name is, got AS Roma disqualified from the Coppa Italia in the 2021 season because he made 6 subs by accident.
no,
I wasn't gonna mention this. I
No
wasn't
way.
gonna
I
mention
didn't even
this.
know
I
that.
didn't want to.
It's real as well. I've just looked. Oh my
Wait,
god.
no,
Oh
wait.
my god.
That
How
is
do you
real.
how do you do that?
By
I don't
being
wanna
a stupid
grow.
manager, Prime.
Like, yeah,
You make
No,
six
but
shots.
surely,
manager.
but surely the officials cannot legally allow you to make more
No,
substitutions.
but that's why he got disqualified.
Yes. Maybe the officials on the day were dumb as
they
well.
they
so
won the
both
game.
were- both at the same time.
They won the game, but then got disqualified because they found out after that he cheated. Again, I agree with you. I don't know how the hell he's got away with it, but what the hell, man?
That happened to Madrid, I think, 4 years ago or something. But it wasn't that. They played a guy who got a red card in the previous game in one of the games, and no one
Yeah.
noticed. And then they ended up deducting, cancel it, giving them an L basically in the game.
But it's a
Wait,
great point.
hold on.
How do you go from Ten Hag, even Martinez, Conte, all these managers,
Mm.
to some bum from Roma who got them in the Conference League? Like he
Wait,
finished
oh,
in the Conference League.
crazy.
Did he get sacked?
Yeah, he got sacked. He got replaced. with
Yeah, he
Mourinho.
got sacked. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he
no,
got sacked
no,
from-
no, Prime.
Huh.
He mutually decided to leave, which is
Mutually.
football terms for he got sacked.
Huh.
The press
that's
mythic
hilarious,
says
man.
Arsenal was
Prime,
worse.
remember when United were taking on Roma, and you were talking about it as well on the time. I think Roma were like are 7th or 8th in the Italian league.
7th, yeah.
And
Yeah. There you go.
yeah, I genuinely think they did sack him, man. Roma, like, there's nothing to say about Tottenham.
Yeah,
was
Mourinho was
United,
not,
United
wasn't.
slapped him, didn't they? Forgot about United slapped Roma, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jose
no.
Mourinho was actually announced, but just before the second leg, if I remember correctly. He was announced
was.
as the next manager before the second leg. So Francesco already knew that he was leaving, which is really interesting.
No, but the first leg was
Tottenham
got
are
pammed, right?
Tottenham are so shit.
Yeah,
Was it? Yeah, so exactly. So it's not even like he can use the excuse that I got sacked, so I purposely lost 6-1 or whatever it was. Like, no, you got panned. You're shit.
yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? Genuinely speaking, like no BS, no banter. Would
Fine.
it be crazy to predict that Tottenham would finish bottom 10 next season?
It depends on the transfer window,
It
I'd
depends
say.
on Harry Kane. I mean, it
Yeah.
depends on Harry Kane. Harry
With
Kane
Fonseca,
carried them
though.
to top 10.
Because if Mourinho's second season couldn't fix that team, how is
No,
Fonseca fixing that team?
No, I'm not saying that they'd finish high up. I'm just saying, like, with Harry Kane,
11th.
he'll carry them to like 8th at least, just on his own. Like,
Yeah, but you're assuming Harry Kane's gonna be there.
no, that's what I'm saying. I said it. It depends on Harry Kane. If he's not there, yeah, they'll finish below top 10. But if Harry Kane's there, I think they'll squeeze it. They'll squeeze it.
11th or 12th isn't bad. 11th or 12th isn't a crazy prediction as well. Because
their fans don't care
if they
anyway,
kept
man.
Mourinho, different conversation. And if they got Conte, people would have literally predicted them to finish 4th even, or 5th or something. But now you can't even predict that anymore.
I don't think even Conte would have saved them. If they're going to sell Harry Kane and not invest properly, then I don't think Conte would have saved them anyway. I think regardless of the manager, they're in a lot of trouble, if I'm being honest with you. I don't see how they're going to...
So long as Fonseca plays attractive football, that's all they care about. So.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't though. That's the thing. He really doesn't.
He
His
doesn't.
football is
Exactly.
awful.
All right, you know what? Compare him to a manager in the Prem.
Allardyce.
Arteta.
Oh, Spurs are
Oh,
doomed.
I thought you were going to say Southgate or something. Well, he's not Premier League, but he's an English manager.
He's not in the Prem.
In terms of play style, it's probably either like Arteta or, and I'm not even trying to roast Arteta there, like the way he plays, or maybe I don't even know, like Roy Hodgson maybe.
Allardyce. Just say
it's not that defensive. It's not 5 at the back defensive, but it's like Roy Hodgson defensive, like 4
So
at
it's
the back.
pragmatic.
Yeah, like break when we can with fast players.
Allardyce.
And
But I
just hope
saw
for the best.
in the 2 Champions League and the Europa League games, I saw them playing wing backs.
Well, then they might have switched to a 5 at the back. I don't know much about Roma. I can't lie, but I presume they play 4 at the back because they don't have the greatest of centre backs. So playing 3 centre backs. I mean, look, they got Chris Smalling. Like playing 3 at the back with Chris Smalling. Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah, no. Chris Smalling. I think, funnily enough, after the Europa League games, I think a lot of United fans finally saw the light with Smalling. Because for ages it was, why did we sell Smalling and get Harry Maguire? And now they've just sort of shut up about that, which is really amusing. Lauren Wood says Roma got slammed hard with injuries. That is true as well, actually. Mm-hmm. They did have a lot of injuries at that point. But yeah, just a brief thing on Tottenham. We'll have to see how that sort of escalates, if that's actually happening. Really amusing. I think Tottenham fans have had basically a breakdown over it. Some of them are already drinking. So there's that. Yeah, well, Prime knows. Going to quickly go on to Chelsea. Apparently, they have put in a 60 million bid for Hakimi. Obviously, he plays as a sort of like a wing back. Very, very talented player. But Prime, you're the Chelsea fan here. What do you think of this?
Love it. Amazingly talented. One of the best right wing backs in the world, especially in the past few seasons. He would perfectly slot in on that right hand side. There are Chelsea fans saying things like, "Oh, it would. What about Reece James? Or does it stunt his growth? Does it stunt Livramento?" I've said this plenty of times. I mean, we all have our players that we like and stuff, and yeah, but I personally don't have any emotion to any of these young players, or I guess players in general. I just want the best possible for Chelsea, and I don't care who that really is. I think with James anyway, he can. There's no reason why he can't play right centre back. Aspie is getting on a little bit, and he will be getting less game time. Plus, this is a position where it will push James the same way when we brought in Havertz, and to be fair, Havertz probably underperformed last season, but it pushed Mount to get better, and that's what you're supposed to have in a competitive squad, where you're supposed to be, where you're trying to challenge and you're trying to win on a consistent basis. There's going to be quality in multiple positions, and that means you have to push yourself and get even better. So, and if that means after 2-3 years, James overtakes Hakimi, that's only a positive for Chelsea. If James drops away and underperforms, then we can sell him.
Yeah, no, it's true. I agree with what you said though about sort of like players in general. Even if your favorite player is sold, if you're replacing them with someone who is just better for the team, you have to put your club first and not the player. The whole player FC thing is beyond ridiculous. I get there's a level of sentiment, obviously. Reece James, I believe he's from the academy, isn't he? And he's just won the Champions League with you guys. But if you can get better, or even just provide him with some kind of competition, that's always a positive for you guys. as long as you're pushing forward and making the progress you want to make, that's always a good thing. Hassam, do you know much about Hakimi? Have you watched much of him?
Not really that much. Like I know he's the second best right back in world football over the past 2-3 years, and obviously it's interesting. Chelsea fans have now switched Reece James's position to right centre back. I think it's very interesting over the past few hours on Twitter and today. I think if Tuchel does go to a 4 at the back, Hakimi starts in that right back position, and Reece James probably ends up on the bench because he's not going to play as the right centre back in a back 4. And I think eventually Tuchel probably does want to switch to a 4 at the back eventually, when he has more control in midfield maybe, or more control like of games in general, especially the games against the lower half, like the bottom 10 of the Premier League. I generally don't think he's going to play 5 at the back against them, even though he could. You never know. But Hakimi, the good thing about him is he's very versatile, and he basically can play right back, right wing back, even left winger. So he plays multiple positions, and like I said, he's top 3 minimum in the world over the past 2-3 years. So it's obviously a great signing. The only problem for Chelsea is PSG are matching the bid. So they're going in with another financial giant as well. So it's not like they're competing against someone who has less money. This time it's like same levels of money. So it could be a madness.
True, but if we both, if Dov keeps getting rattled by this, he's a right back, or he's not a right back. True, but then Trent also isn't a right back either. He's a midfielder. So, whatever. Look, PSG, on the money front, we can match them. So then it just becomes a thing of where does he want to go to League 1, where next season is not a guarantee they're gonna win the French league, they're not gonna win the Champions League, as opposed to come to Chelsea. And I know the Premier League is not a guarantee for us, or the Champions League is not a guarantee for us next season. But you're coming to a competitive league where you can challenge. Everyone wants to play in the Prem eventually. There's no reason why he wouldn't or he shouldn't want to come here unless Chelsea don't put down the money for him.
I don't know. I think it's difficult because obviously it's not just whether the player wants to go. There's also the wage package. So we don't know how much PSG and Chelsea are offering for wages. Oh gosh.
Vibes. That's a false. That ended up being a false rumor, man. You guys are still running with this. From 2017.
Is pregnant girl. I love that.
No.
Trent is the second best defensive right back in the league anyway.
He's a what?
He's the second best defensive right back in the league anyway.
Who's the first best? Like, who is the best? Sorry.
Reece James.
Right. Okay.
Oh. So Chelsea have two. Will have two potential wing backs, right backs better than Trent. That's cool. Continue.
I mean, all I'm going to say on this,
not overall.
About Hakimi and a 4 at the back. Yeah, you won't win many games then, because Hakimi and a 4 at the back is going to be useless. And that, I know he's a good right back, but he's not the best defensively. So, I think in a 5 at the back, defensively he looks good, but in a 4 at the back he doesn't. Like, he's barely played in a 4 at the back. That's kind of why Madrid got rid of him, because they didn't need a right wing back. So, yeah, I don't see him. If you stick at that 3 at the back formation, it'll be class. But if he does move to a 4 at the back, which I think Tuchel does want to do, I just stick with Reece James.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Welcome, Grandad Indy.
What's with the Grandad Indy, man? Come on.
But
I don't think I've even started to go grey yet. Come on.
But Bossman Indy from the chicken shop, how's it been?
All good, man. Well, I'm going to say all good. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with all good.
Good.
Positive vibes, man.
Hakimi?
We're just talking about Hakimi, yeah.
Hakimi. Listen, you're going to have to fill me in on everything because, as you two know, I've been busy. So I haven't. This is my favourite part of the football season, like the end of it, the transfer window. So you're educating me right now. What's going on with Hakimi?
Chelsea have matched a 60 million bid with PSG for him. So at this point, it's about wage packages and whether he wants to join PSG or Chelsea. but it looks likely that he'll be going to one of those two teams at the moment.
Wait. Chelsea and PSG are in for Hakimi, and Man United are looking at Trippier.
We don't speak on that. This stream is Man United free. Thank you very much.
Is that right? Wow.
I know, Indiana. It's disgusting, isn't it?
Wow.
Well, to be
How
fair,
the mighty have
we're going to
fallen.
spend 60 million on a right back. At the
A right
moment.
back who wouldn't play well in your team.
Look,
because they're
it's
back.
look, it's the pull. Once Chelsea come knocking, it's the pull.
It's the pull of London, mate. That's all it is.
Well,
I think
that
the Hakimi thing, the Hakimi thing with the right back. The reason I said it's against the bottom 10 because you expect Chelsea to dominate possession against bottom 10. So Hakimi could play like the Trent 1920 role where he's just offensive and part of the attack and everything. That's why I said only against bottom 10. I think if you're playing Liverpool, City, United, Arsenal, maybe you probably do go 5 at the back. But like against your Burnleys and Brentford. By the way, so many offensive like teams now in the Premier League because Brentford came up, Watford came up, and who was the third team? Norwich came up. So it's, they all play offensive football. So if you have Hakimi as your right back against them, you're going to create plenty of opportunities and like smash them to pieces basically because they're not well. They don't play well defensively anyway.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But we'll see how that sort of develops because obviously we don't know what his preferences are. At least I don't know anyway. But we are going to sort of go on to sort of... Actually, no. Let's speak about Haaland since Indiana's here. There are rumours, obviously, that Chelsea are in for Haaland and that he wants to join. I find it interesting just because I didn't think that...
close back on Prime.
Oh, God. Yeah, I didn't think that Dortmund would sell Haaland and Sancho in the same summer. So there could be repercussions there, we don't know. But Indiana, talk to me. What do you think of Haaland?
I'm going to skip over the fact Prime heard Haaland and in a split second all of his clothes came
No,
off.
we're not doing that. I have clothes on.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
he's getting ready for the Bunda call.
This is grounded football, right?
Yeah.
Listen,
This is grounded football.
everyone knows that I love Haaland, man. I love Haaland. I think he's the complete striker. His build, his touch, his instincts, his finishing, just a top player. I'm less worried about Chelsea getting Haaland than I would be if they got Harry Kane because I still think Harry Kane is the best fit for Chelsea. That's my personal preference. When I look at Chelsea, I'm like, wow, Harry Kane takes them next level. But I do also get the Haaland, a young player, because they've got Havertz. I mean, they're carrying Mount. They've got Werner, which they're obviously going to have to sell at some point. But they've got some young players coming in. I know they need a striker, and that does take them next level. I'm surprised that it's not a midfielder. I can't say too much, can I? I'm surprised it's not. I'm surprised it's not a midfielder.
Yo, Prime is, I'm sorry I'm laughing, but Prime is getting roasted in the comment section.
No, see what you called. I'm not naked, people.
Clothes off if you want Haaland. Yo, Vibes FC is next level, man. Vibes FC. Oh my God.
But yeah, he's still... Listen, I obviously I don't want to see Haaland go anywhere but Man United. That's just the way I feel about it, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, we're not speaking about United because honestly, the transfer rumors involving us is just draining at this point.
Harry Winks. Harry Winks.
I haven't even heard anything else about that apart from that one day where it
Who
just
did
came
that
out.
come from? Who was
can't
bantering
remember.
Man United there? I was an Arsenal fan. It's all right. Don't worry. We're good.
Right. Gunnar, what do you think of the Haaland deal? Do you think it's likely to go through? Do you think he will be a Chelsea player next season?
No, I think he'll stay at Dortmund for another season. Obviously, they just got a new manager, Marco Rosa. I think he's a very good manager. I think quite underrated in terms of not many people know about him. But I think, if anything, I think Haaland, he's for me, he's a very odd footballer in terms of his motivations. Like, we've seen all his interviews, he acts like a robot. I think he does it on purpose, to be honest. But I think for him, it's more, where do I want to be successful more than I do, or where do I want to be so I can build a brand? Where do I want to be so I can make money? And I think for him, just sticking out at Dortmund for another season is what I think he'll do. Because I think, again, they've got a new manager. Maybe he'll just say, we'll see what happens. Maybe I can try and dominate Bundesliga with them. And if nothing happens, then I'll leave the season after. Because it's not like people are just going to instantly get turned off if Dortmund don't do well. Because he's still going to do well. So, again, his price, like 170 million is what they're quoting him at. No one is paying that money for Haaland. Nobody. I don't care what anybody says. So unless that price is lowered, and again, I don't see Dortmund selling him and Sancho for cut prices. So one of them is going to be full price, and it looks like it'll be Haaland because Sancho's already getting cut deals. Yeah, I don't see it personally. Not this season. Next season, I think he'll go, but this summer now.
Yeah. Do you know what I would say with the Haaland thing that you mentioned with the fee? Is that if Chelsea are buying Hakimi for 60 million and then say Haaland for 100 odd million, do you think that would put a massive dent into their transfer budget? And what else would they actually be buying for their squad? We'll go to Prem for this because obviously he's a Chelsea fan, but
yeah. Yes and no. Depending on if we can sell the players that we need. So Tammy can raise like 30 or 40 mil. Maybe Emerson can be in some way part of the deal for Hakimi, or we can even sell Emerson for 25, 30, maybe 35 mil, depending on the Euros. Barkley can wage maybe like 30, 40 mil. Tomori, we're getting 25 from him. Giroud is 3 to 5 mil. Bashuai. There are some players like there are excess that we have that we don't need, that we can get money from, as well as the fact of we've got a loan army that is going to raise us money, just players being out on loan. So I think the spending 150 or 200 mil is not necessarily a problem because we can find a way to kind of balance that.
No, that's true. That makes a lot of sense. Hassam, what do you make of this? Do you think it's rubbish, or do you think that it can genuinely happen?
It can genuinely happen because he's linked with Chelsea. It can't happen if he's linked to United or Liverpool or like some team who's dodgy in the transfer window. But it can happen if it's linked to City or Chelsea because they do have the money. And even without the sales, they probably could afford him. If Chelsea get Haaland, it's curtains for the league. Like, just give them the league title and we can fight out for 20 to 20th because it's over. It's over. If all the chances they create go to Haaland instead of Turbo Timo, it's curtains for us, and the league is over before it started. There are two scenarios which immediately make the league over. One is Kane to City, and two is Haaland to Chelsea. Those two, just because of like the way Chelsea play, would create so many chances for Haaland, and we've seen it. The Champions League final, take that as an example. Werner could have scored a hat-trick in the first 30 minutes if he knows how to play football. But if Haaland is their striker, it's game over within half an hour, and that's the problem. And like they're linked with him and can afford him, and it's not even something crazy to think of. And I don't know what to say because these links with Hakimi and Haaland, if they somehow end up with both, it would be a total madness, honestly.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Haaland will leave next season personally. But if it does happen, it'll be really interesting to see how he plays in the Premier League. And it's not me saying Bundesliga tax because that stuff I don't like that stuff anyway. But I'm interested to see how he links up with the rest of the Chelsea team. Because I think that's part of his game that does lack, is his link-up play. Obviously, he's an excellent finisher. But a lot of strikers these days are expected to do a little bit more just outside the box. So whether he can do that in the Premier League where he's under a lot more pressure quicker, you never know how he's sort of going to adapt to that. So it will be really interesting to see that. We are going to sort of move on to sort of the Euros because obviously it starts on Friday. I don't know who everyone's supporting for the Euros, so let me know. Indiana is obviously going to be England, I imagine.
No,
No, you're not supporting England in the Euros.
no. Italy.
Yeah, same. I'm not either.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. So we're going to have quite a few people. Okay, so Indiana is
And
Italy. Prime,
I'll
are you supporting
I'll
anyone?
support Italy if they win. Sorry, England if they win. If they win, I'm supporting them.
Glory hunter.
Well,
Glory
Prime
hunter.
can't- well,
I'm
Prime can't
I'm like a
support
Chelsea
Ireland, 'cause
fan,
they're
you
not
know,
in
like
it.
when they
No,
always
he's a
support,
Man United fan. Glory hunting Man
you know, like
United fan.
when
Glory
Chelsea
hunting
fans
English
all
fan.
used to support Arsenal, and then the money came in.
Yeah,
That's how I'll be
I
with
remember
England
that.
if they win the tournament.
He's a glory hunting Man United fan. He's glory hunting England fan. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Prime, are you gonna be supporting Ireland?
Can't be a glory hunting England.
I don't support Ireland anyway.
No, I was gonna say because they're not in it, are they? You know,
Yeah, but England aren't winning it either, are they? So
at least you're in it
you're in it to do what?
to win it.
To get eliminated. England are going out group stages.
You're in
Sorry
it.
to spoil the
You're
tournament.
in it
They're
to
going
win
out
it.
group stages. 100%.
Nah,
England are going out
Rami-
group
Rami-
stages.
So Macedonia are in it to win it as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I support North Macedonia. Come on, North Macedonia. Come on. That's my team in the Euros. Either them or Scotland.
Scott?
But
Yeah.
on a serious note, I'm supporting Italy as well.
Okay, cool. Gunnar, who are you supporting?
Germany.
Germany.
Me
And
and
Hassan?
I don't really support anyone. I just like look at the teams with Liverpool players and just like cheer them on. I honestly am not interested in international football at all. But just because this Euros is actually quite interesting, I actually want what's their name? I want the Netherlands to win it, even though I think it's gonna be really difficult. But that's who I want to win it.
No, that makes sense, Lisa.
Can
Go
I
on,
just
India.
clarify? Me and Prime will both be supporting Italy, but we'll be doing it differently.
What do you mean differently?
I will be doing it with my clothes on.
Oh my god. My clothes are on.
Prime watching Locatelli with his clothes on.
My clothes. No, hold on. Stop. No, stop. We're not doing this. My clothes are on.
Oh.
Okay, what do you want to see? Do you want proof?
Yep.
No.
No.
Right, we remove him.
Yeah, well
It's
done.
safer that way.
Cool.
It's safer that
Well
way.
done,
Channel
Rachel.
taken
Thank
down,
you.
man.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. All your hard work on this channel will be gone within a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what I want to speak about
longer than a
was...
second, mate.
Sure you will.
Oh my god.
Yo, Vibes FC is on one, man. Big up Vibes FC.
Close off
I
if you
love
like
the
to
banter
say.
in the chat, man. The chat always cheers me up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I really need to go
Mystic,
through the
Mystic Wolf
comments.
says Canada are winning it, so he's back in Canada for the Euros.
Big up Canada.
All right. Shane going for Portugal or Spain. Interesting. Normally, aren't they like rivals internationally? It's interesting that he's going for sort of both of them. Yeah. I've actually forgotten what I was going to say now. Thank you, Prime. Paul Merson.
Eurotalk.
Yeah, Paul Merson has said that England can win the Euros, and apparently this sort of sentiment is backed by Jose Mourinho and Arsene Wenger. Prime's dressed, guys.
He's just put his clothes
I
on.
have been dressed.
He's just whacked a hoodie on.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay.
What do you guys think are the odds
That's a lie.
of England
because
winning?
I know I seen a nipple about.
There was no. That's probably your imagination thing. Why are you trying to imagine me with nipples? Why are you trying to look at my nipples? If my nipples were out, which they weren't.
Why would I be trying? You know you're on camera, right? I'm not hidden in your wardrobe or anything. You're on camera.
Oh my god, man.
This is grounded football. Let's keep it grounded.
It's
keep
over
the
now.
clothes
This is no
on.
This is no longer-
Vladimir Sniffle, oh my god, Vibes FC.
Fives, you're timed out for that because that's.
Oh my god.
No, don't time him out. We like vibes.
Yeah, we like Vibes.
No. We love vibes. We love vibes.
We love vibes. Yeah.
All
Um,
right. What did you say? What did Merson say?
yeah, that England can win the Euros. I can't now. Okay, Prime, you start because I need to calm down.
Yeah, apparently, Paul Merson said England can win the Euros. Mourinho was praising this England team, and Wenger said,
Yo, vibes FC, what the hell, man? Come on.
Oh no.
"All right, vibes. That's 2 yellow cards you're sent off." Anyway, and apparently
Oh, block.
Wenger said this England team is as comparable to the France team, but defensively is their only problem or weakness. So let's start with Hassan. Hassan, what are your thoughts on England?
England are going out group stages, no cap. No cap, honestly. I think Croatia top the group. I think Czech Republic finished second. I think Scotland finished third, and I think England go out group stages, 100%. Because Southgate is like the Ollie of international football. He relies on individual brilliance and not the actual players he has. Like I remember I was on a space on Twitter and we were talking about this, and like people were like describing the first 11 they'd start and etc. I'm like, guys, Southgate is gonna start 5 at the back with a double pivot, not even 4 at the back with double pivot. It's gonna be 5 at the back, double pivot, and you'll see players like Foden not starting. You'll see players like Sancho possibly on the bench, and they're gonna have to use Kane the creator instead of Kane the striker. So England have no chance. Like I genuinely think they're going out in group stages, because when you look at it, Czech Republic is a bogey team for England, and Croatia are technically better. And Scotland haven't played Euros ever since like black and white TV. So they're gonna come into this like Wales last time, giving 110% every single one of them. So there is a chance they could actually beat England as well. Like it's not like impossible. And I'm honestly predicting England to go out group stages and football to not come home one more time, because a golden generation is wasted on the English Sven Goran Eriksson, basically.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Rachel, as an England fan, thoughts
What?
on that?
He needs to stop. Can we ban him from this channel, please, Indiana?
Of course.
Yeah. Vibes has been blocked for 5 minutes, and we have Vladimir speaking.
You are an England fan.
No, I'm not.
Okay, fine. As someone who lives in England and supports Manchester United, but is not an England fan, what are your thoughts?
If I'm honest with you, I don't care. Like England, it's similar to what Hassam said. They have a lot of talent in attacking areas, and it feels like Southgate stifles that a bit. However, we do know that defensively, England are actually quite poor, and especially with Harry Maguire out, which it looks very likely he's not going to be in it until the knockout rounds if they get there. It seems to me that they do need the protection, but it's difficult because for me, if you don't have a defense, I would say the best thing to do is sort of keep control of the midfield as much as you can and try and pressurize the other team rather than invite pressure, which is what England do. Even when we watched the game the other day against Romania, Romania had quite a few chances, and that's not a very good team. They had chances to score against them, and England didn't look very good. So rather than invite pressure, I would say try and get hold of the midfield, try and put pressure on the opposition team with your attacking players, and try and sustain it, because you have lots of talent in forward areas, rather than invite the pressure on. And I don't think Southgate's going to do that. So I don't really think England have a good chance of winning the Euros because of that, personally.
Fast forward to a month's time when England bring it home.
If they do, then good for them. But like, I think to do that, Southgate would have to change quite a lot about how he approaches the games. And if he does that, then credit to him. But I don't think he will. So yeah.
Fair. Indiana?
Rachel, I think that the key there was Southgate has to change. That's where your thing is correct, because they have to change him. That's what he has to do. This is where the thing starts. Because when you look at the talent pool, what Paul Merson is saying isn't crazy, just based on talent. But then you look at the guy running the talent in Southgate. If they actually get a serious manager who understands football, knows how to play to his strengths. We all know as football fans, the strength of England is probably in the attacking midfield areas and in the wingers and the strikers. and Southgate isn't going to rely on that. That's the issue. That's the problem. And like you could even create something where, for example, you play both Foden and Mount in midfield, you play both Grealish and Sancho on the wings, on either wing, and then you could even do a whole rotation thing because they can all play in midfield as well. Maybe defend as a team. Like there are so many ideas you can do, but we know Southgate won't implement them. The only problem with England is not talent, it's not anything, it's Southgate. And when you even look at his selections when it comes to defenders, taking, for example, Mings instead of Konsa, there are so many mistakes. Taking Connor Cody when we know he's not really a defender. He's a defender in a 5 at the back, which is the same for Walker and James. He's not a natural centre back. And then when Trent gets injured, he brings Ben White, which shows that in his mind subconsciously he knew that he's short at the back already. So he brings Ben White instead of Trent, like basically ridiculing his own decision of taking 4 right backs by taking a centre back instead of them, which is like this guy is clueless. Honestly, there's no hope for England.
He's right. No hope in a waistcoat, man. I'm serious.
I don't think it ridicules is because if he's playing with 5 at the back, I mean, with Trent in there, you have Walker who can tuck in and play as a third, as a third centre back. So it is 3. It's 3 wing backs, 3 right full backs in the squad. Now with Trent injured, you bring in Ben White who plays at centre back. Kyle Walker then plays full back. It's still 3 full backs in the squad. I don't think it's a bad thing per se. Like what should he have done? Put in, as Vive said, James Ward-Prowse would have been better probably in terms of set pieces, yes. However, you still have Trippier who can take set pieces in the squad. Mount can take set pieces. You've got
Sancho, Foden.
Reece James. Yeah, Sancho, Foden. You still got set piece takers in that squad. So it's not like it's, you're necessarily finished.
Also, the Ben White thing could also be because there's a development with the Maguire injury as well. Maybe I think is he doing light training or is he just not training at all? So maybe there was a development there.
He is doing light training, so he's on the grass, but he's not.
Yeah, so maybe Ben White
doing the level of training you need him to.
Yeah,
you
speak to Leeds fans, and the Leeds fans tell you that Ben White is Leeds' 3rd best centre back. So like, I don't know, man. It's like his selections are mad. It's just there's no hope. There's generally no hope. Exactly what Indiana said. No hope in a waistcoat. Just forget it. It's not coming home. You're going out group stages, and I genuinely believe you're going out group stages.
I like Southgate. I think he's doing a good job.
No, that's fair enough. Let Gunnar speak because he hasn't had a chance to speak yet about England.
Go ahead.
He's supporting Germany in the Euros, but Gunnar, let us know what you think about England and their chances for the Euros.
Well, if Southgate plays the best right winger England have, which is Bukayo Saka, he will carry the nation to the final. But if he doesn't, which he won't, then round of 16 lost to Germany is what I predict.
No, short and sweet. I kind of like that. Do you guys agree? Do you think Saka should be playing?
Honestly, I think I've said I think my 5 or England's 5 should be Saka at left wing back and Luke Shaw at left centre back.
But then who's right centre back?
What, Luke Shaw at left centre back? Yeah.
Who's right centre back in that scenario? Obviously, John Stones will be in the middle, won't he? In your back 3.
John Stones would be in the centre, and it would be Kyle Walker.
Really?
I think James, Reece James has only played a few games as a right centre back. I wouldn't trust him in a tournament, and you need. Sometimes you just need you need experience in this. So you should play Kyle Walker in there, who's actually comfortable with the team. I wouldn't throw in Ben White because again, he hasn't been part of England squads in the past, or many of them. So he doesn't have much chemistry with the full team. And this is a tournament where not every other nation is actually that strong. Even France look a bit, you could maybe try and do something in this. And it's not the tournament to be trying to put in young players and just have them play based off no experience. And then when you get knocked out, all of a sudden you're blaming Southgate for playing these young players and not having experience. So, but that's just me.
Out of curiosity, do you think it's a good idea to play two natural fullbacks in two of the three centre back positions? I mean, do you think that's a good idea?
I mean, I understand yes and no, I guess, but in terms of what you currently have, the wide centre back roles of the three, who in the squad can you put in there that has also been part of previous English squads and has chemistry with the full setup? People don't rate Tyrone Mings, so that's a no. There's no
He's
Joe
bad.
Gomez. There's no Joe Gomez at all. Ben White hasn't been part of previous England squads. Connor Cody can only play as a central centre back. What's his name? John Stones can only play in the centre of a three. Maguire, he's injured, but even then, I think Maguire is probably best in the centre, not on the left of the three because of his lack of pace. Even though he is quite mobile for someone so big, but he's got a lack of pace in there. So I think it's not ideal per se, but Luke Shaw has played left centre back for Man United when they played a five, and he's been brilliant. Walker has played left centre back for England and a bit for City as well, and he's played there quite brilliantly. And I think in a tournament where you don't want to throw something in there based off a risk and have that be the reason why you get knocked out. I think why not put them in there? And plus, Walker and Shaw are both great on the ball, so it's not like it's a thing where you're playing them in there and it's going to be awkward. I think it would work well.
No, that's fair enough. Just general Euro 21 stuff. Like, we'll move away from England a little bit because it seems like everyone's speaking about England.
Can I just say, for me with Harry Kane, I personally want Luke Shaw and Carl Walker as the wing backs. Sorry, not Carl Walker, Trippier. Sorry, Luke Shaw and Trippier. Yeah, I'd want them
for the delivery.
For the delivery, definitely. Yeah,
but Saka gives you that delivery as well.
Yeah,
that's true.
I just don't. Yeah, but I don't trust the fact that we won't have a centre back partnership. So you need more defensive minded play. Like I trust Luke Shaw and Trippier over Saka defensively. I'd like to see Saka further up the pitch, to be honest, if he plays.
Man, what Prime said isn't crazy. What Prime said, I actually did the same when I did the team. Like when you played my team, the only difference is I played Reece James instead of Kyle Walker, and I actually played Luke Shaw left centre back because based on Southgate's selections, unfortunately, that's who you have to go with. And what Prime said is true because Maguire is injured, Gomez isn't even there, and Tyrone Mings is literally like not even the best centre back at a not good club anyway. He should have been Konsa, but that's not the point. Point is based on Southgate's selections, playing Luke Shaw left centre back and Reece James right centre back. For me, I think he's better than Kyle Walker. Isn't that mad? It's actually because both of them have done it for their clubs. And when you think about it, actually, the strength in the wing positions could be stopped with a combination of them both, like actually defending that area. So it's not a madness to be fair.
You're talking about a back three, yeah?
Yeah, back five.
Yeah, a back five, yeah. I'm talking about a back four because the way I see it is I think Southgate will play two DMs. I think he'll go with Phillips and Rice, and then if you're going to do that, I'd like to see Luke Shaw and Trippier out wide. That's how I would like to do it because I think there needs to be more creativity because England's a bit like England could be a bit like when you watch Man United and they just don't know what to do with the ball on the edge of the box, and you need that delivery from the fullbacks. You just need it sometimes. And although Carl Walker, I rate him. I think he's England's best right back by a mile, but his delivery is not as good as Trippier's. And if you're going to do that, I think Trips has to start for me.
No, that's
Trippier does start, but again, you're playing a five. So who plays right centre back then for you, Indiana?
I'd play Walker there.
Yeah,
I'd play Walker there to cover. I mean, I don't trust any centre back partnership for England anyway. Really, that's with Harry Maguire in the squad. So take him out. What have you got to lose? At least Walker's got a bit of pace to recover. he gets himself out of trouble quite a lot of the time just by using his pace.
Yeah, no, that's true. We've spoken a lot about the defense actually. The front three. Who would you pick front three, Indiana, for England?
Well, Kane's a given.
Hmm.
I'd like to see Sancho. I think Sancho has to play. If he was fully fit, obviously I'd like to see Rashford there, but if Luke Shaw's playing behind him because of that chemistry they've got, but he's not fully fit. So for me, I think you also need the energy up there. So Harry Kane can pick up those holes, and that would be Sterling. I think Sterling works more. Is he your best threat as an individual? No, he's not. But I think his energy levels, he's tenacious, and that gives Kane the opportunity to have a little bit of a respite and pick up those holes and ghost in the box.
Would you play Grealish behind Harry Kane in that scenario?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering if you
I pretty much do. You know how Bruno Fernandes, like Cavani, sits, right? And Bruno Fernandes, he's the one who presses. I'd be asking Grealish to do that. I want Harry Kane to pick the ball up deep if it comes out. I want him to ghost in the box and get across the keeper. He's there to score goals and create goals, right? I don't want him wasting his energy pressing like that.
No, that makes sense. Prime, what do you think of the front three for England? Who do you think it should be? And who should play behind Harry Kane?
I think your forward line for England is quite interesting. So you've got the likes of Mason Mount, Foden, Grealish and Sancho, who are quite similar. I'm not saying they're all on the same level, but they are quite similar in terms of they are creators. They like to float and drift and create. Whereas you've got Rashford and Sterling, who are both inside forwards, so they're not going to be as creative, but they will get you goals, especially if you give them this the service. So I think you've got to have a balance, and depending on how much you're using your wing backs, and you're using the wing back and you're using the width, I think maybe having one of a Grealish, Foden, Mount, Sancho, and then one of Rashford or Sterling. I think having both of the one type might be a bit of an imbalance, personally. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense, but I think Rachel's gone. Yeah, Rachel's gone. Prime.
Yeah, Rachel's gone. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but again, what I said, I don't even know if that makes sense. So, let me let me know. Do you think that even made sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. But I think the strongest one, like pound for pound, is Grealish, Sancho, Kane. That's who I would start. I'd play all three of them together as a front three, and I'd play both Foden and Mount in behind. I think Sterling has had such a horrible season that I'm not even gonna consider him to start. Even though I do understand why you would want him to start, just because of the way he plays, 100%, like an actual thing. But just based on like how they've performed and what they can actually do, I'm going Grealish, Kane, Sancho, 100%.
Sorry, guys, I quickly had to do something. So yours is Grealish, Kane, Sancho, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty standard, to be fair. Who hasn't gone? Is it Gunnar? Has Gunnar picked his front three?
No.
Sorry, say that again. I just got back. Sorry.
Sorry, have you picked your front three for England? If you had to pick the front three, who would you play?
Kane, Saka, and Sancho for me.
I think having I wouldn't have Saka part of that front three. I think Saka should play. Well, in terms of Saka is probably the only person. I think he's the only player in that English team that can give you something different in terms of being an actual natural winger. And I think he'd be best utilized playing left wing back and if he's not playing there, I don't think he should start. I think left wing back should be where he should be playing.
No, but
In terms of he's better
my
than-
reasoning, Prime.
Yeah.
You can only go on what, or at least I can only go on what I've seen of him at England, right? And I get a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but it's only friendlies, yeah, but it's only against this team and that team. But you can only go off of what you've seen. It's only what Southgate can go off of what he's seen. For me, he's been the best player on the pitch in every match. For me, undoubtedly, every single match he's played, he's been the best player. And I'm not being biased. And yes, I probably am watching him a little bit more than everyone else. But that's shown via the fact that he's won, I think, 3 or 4 Man of the Match awards already. Which, yeah, doesn't mean much, but when it's fan voted, it says something to me when the fans are voting for him. Also, he scored his first goal, tap in, whatever you want to call it. He still had to score it, and he did. And the confidence from that point will go forward. He probably should have scored about 3 or 4 goals by now. But I just think with Grealish behind him in that midfield, because I'm not leaving Grealish out, I'm putting him in the midfield. Grealish in midfield, rotating around the pitch, because Romania... Grealish was everywhere, and that's what I think we need Grealish to do, is just be everywhere, because the team's so weak without him. Having him everywhere helps. So, again, with him and Saka, their connection was brilliant. For me, they've got a special bond. I don't care what anyone says. They love each other, like, as football friends, like.
Who?
And the connection they have on the pitch replicates that. They're so good together. So, I just Saka at left wing, right wing, don't care. Just. For me, in that team, he'll improve us. And I know you're trying to say. I know you're not trying to say anything different, but I get what you're saying at left wing back. But I don't even think he's going to play free at the back personally. Not at the beginning anyway. I think he'll be forced to play free at the back when our defensive weaknesses show up. But I see him playing a 4-2-3-1 at the beginning and then switching it around maybe later. But again, this is the thing with Southgate. You don't know what he's going to play. Like, this is how shit of a manager he is. I'm sorry. You don't even know what formation he's going to play. Like,
I think with England, like, that forward line, so you're play Grealish and play Sancho, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Saka to be able to finish and score. And Saka's great. Regardless of what people make of me thinking he's had a poor season, I think Saka is great. But to have a lot of pressure on him to be part of that forward line and get goals, and you know he is going to miss chances. I don't want to have that sort of thing on him, especially the fact of we know what fans are like, and if he misses a chance and England get knocked out, the sort of abuse he's going to get is not going to sit well.
No, it's
I
true.
understand that.
It's true.
For the central midfield area, do we think Phillips plays there? Do we think Bellingham plays there, or Hendo? Like, who
I
do you
agree with
think?
what
Phillips
Velvet's
won't
saying.
start. Southgate just goes with favourites. He's starting Henderson 100%. I'm not saying he should starting him. I'm telling you what he will do, because he just has favourites. It's the same reason Trippier is starting. It's the same reason Sterling will start, just because of the whole favourite thing he has. It's 100% gonna. He's 100% gonna start Henderson, and the fact he started in a friendly and wore the captain's armband for some stages just goes
Missed the
along with the
penalty.
figure.
Don't forget that one.
He didn't start
Doesn't
though,
matter.
did he? Didn't he
No,
come
he
off?
didn't. He
Didn't he
came
come off
on.
the bench? Yeah.
Came on, yeah.
Didn't he? Yeah.
He didn't.
Anyway,
Yeah.
He came on for Rashford, I think. It was a straight swap.
Yeah, he played.
Yeah.
He's gonna start. He's gonna start Henderson 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think he trusts Phillips enough.
Why would he? Phillips for me is not overrated, but he's not that good. He's not that good. Like, is he? You think it's the man bun that makes him different, so he's good. But what I'll quickly say on the Bellingham thing, Velvetran makes a great point. Saka gets 19, 20, so he's beginning to get into the senior levels of career. Bellingham's 17 years old. He was in year 8 in the last Euros. Like, year 8. He's a baby. Yeah. He's a baby, and you cannot, I don't care how good he is, you cannot whack him in the Euros with a bunch of drunk English fans watching him play. And like you just said with Saka, but I think more for Bellingham, if he misses a chance or if he makes a mistake, worse for him because he's 17 years old. He's not even an adult yet. Technically, he's not even a man. So I can't put that much pressure on him personally. I can't. So I wouldn't start him at all. I'd play him. Don't get me wrong, but there's some people saying start him next to Rice, and not for me. No way.
Personally, I've said the same thing all along. Is the way I feel about it. I think it's because I coach kids, right? I don't like seeing footballers unless they're like exceptionally elite, like Cristiano Ronaldo level, even getting in to the men's team in friendlies. There's an under 21s, under 23s for a reason. Allow them to develop, play the club football, then bring them in. It's just a media storm, especially England. I called it with Greenwood. I didn't call exactly what happened, but I knew. I just had a feeling it was a bad move. I don't like it happening. It shouldn't happen for me.
Yeah, no, that's actually fair enough, to be honest with you. Like, I think the Bellingham thing, I think he's very, very talented, and I would like to see like Bellingham play more. But as you are right, he is only 17 years old, and I think he has a lot to work on in terms of his passing as well. He's very good with ball in terms of dribbling, but I think if as I said before, if Southgate was to play a team that could try and keep the ball rather than sort of relinquish pressure, then Bellingham isn't the player to actually start in that. He'd actually be sort of a hindrance at times because his passing isn't quite good enough, and he won't be keeping the ball as much as he should be. So I understand it. But he is a very, very talented player. I think he's going to develop into a very good player. Is there background noise for you guys?
Yes.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
I think it's Prime. I'm unsure though.
I don't know. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been muted. So
It's the echo of Prime's wardrobe.
All right, Indiana, thinking of me with nipples, relax.
Oh,
Whoa! Again. Oh, is that a timeout? He timed out vibes for that, I swear.
oh gosh. Yeah, Shane Malone says like and subscribe people for great content. Thank you, Shane.
Shane,
people, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are going to be doing a giveaway at 500 subscribers. We're actually on the road to that now, so please.
Wait, what's the giveaway? Prime, if you tell me it's your T-shirt, I don't want to know.
Yo, Indiana's running with this, man. He's running with this.
It's a jersey from a team of your choice. Obviously, a brand new one.
Are we American now?
We're not getting any. We're not getting any of my jerseys. Well, unless you guys want them signed by me. For some reason.
No.
Yeah. So also, you guys can be entered in the giveaway, but just know, none of the panel from the first XI will be involved in. So I won't be in it. Nor will Rachel or Indiana or Will. Just so that it actually, it's fair. And if one of us end up winning it, no one can say, it's being rigged or whatever. Well,
yeah, it's all about you guys.
Prime, are you giving away?
Yo, this is madness. Yo, Prime, you're actually getting roasted
Vibes,
today. Like,
man.
honestly. Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Vibes, man. Oh my god.
Gooner Express.
I think Rachel skipped Vibes' best comment. He said, "Look at the Areola Robert Mugabe." That was the best.
What did he say?
I think Vibes said, "Look at the Areola Robert Mugabe." That was fucking bad, man.
Yeah, the one that you handled.
Areola want to roll with Anguissa. Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, Gooner Express. Something you said. You think Southgate might play a 4?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm assuming 4-3-3 is the way you guys want to go. What would be your England team playing a 4?
Johnston in goal.
Do we all agree with that? No, like everyone. Do we all agree with that?
Is this our team or what we think Southgate's going to pick?
Okay, let's pick the team you think Southgate will go, because you think Southgate will play a 4.
Pickford then. They'll pick Pickford in goal.
Yep. Who's the back 4?
Stones and Mings. Centre backs.
That stinks.
It really does, doesn't it? It's so smelly.
A few years, like a year ago or two, England fans were saying Tyrone Mings should be.
Nah, I was always calling Mings out. I knew he was shit. I saw it at Bournemouth when he was playing left back. He got carried by Hakimi.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, left back. Right back. It's difficult, man.
Trippier, 100%.
Nah, I don't think it will. Because he's been subbing him on. Like, he ain't starting him, so.
Probably Reece James then.
Maybe Walker.
Trippier
I'm thinking Kyle Walker.
He's like Southgate's baby. Like, he's 100% playing Trippier. Trust me.
I think it's Walker, personally.
Trippier's been playing left back.
I think the fact he played him left back shows how much he wants. He's gonna start him.
Nah,
Like,
I think Trippier will be like a super sub. Like he'll come on every game, but he won't start.
Maybe.
Walker.
Yeah, I'd say Walker personally.
What is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh,
Kyle Walker. The midfield.
Declan Rice.
Southgate, Henderson, and Rice.
Did you say Southgate?
Yeah, what Southgate will do is Henderson and Rice, 100%.
Henderson, Rice, and Mount.
Yeah,
No.
that's the midfield.
Oh.
Look at this. Wait, hold on. Let me just check.
Look at this beauty. All this effort to go out group stages. Incredible.
Oh,
stuff.
92 rated Gerrard, but no Premier League. Okay, that's funny. Mason Mount.
Oh no, not this.
Oh, lad, Prime, why you expect me to be quiet when you talk about Gerrard? Please, that's a trigger word. You can't.
Yeah,
say
but
that.
Vieira's better than Gerrard, so I don't want to hear.
Nah, he's not. No one's
Yes, he is.
better than Gerrard in Premier League.
Yaya
Can-
Toure definitely was.
Can Gerrard rainbow flick? No, he can't.
And Giroud.
Doesn't
And speaking
matter.
of Rainbow Flicks, Giroud's clear of Henry. Anyway, right wing.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Right wing.
Probably
Sancho.
Sancho. I'd say Sancho.
Fernando Hierro says, "I love a Kenya." Well, if you win the shirt, if you win the prize, the shirt of your choice will be Kenya, and we'll send out to you.
Yeah.
Let's preference this by saying, preferably, can we send to a? It'd be preferable if you are from a country where it would be quite convenient for us to send a shirt from the UK.
Not
You
North Korea.
Prime, you're triggering me one more time, man.
What?
It's not convenient for me now.
Oh, well, you're part of our panel, so you're not going to be entered in the giveaway.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing.
But, yeah, right wing.
Sancho.
Sancho.
Yeah.
And I'm presuming I don't know. I want to say Grealish.
Grealish has to play.
Knowing Southgate, he won't play him.
Did
But
Grealish
Prime
get
is
the
going
number?
with Southgate's team, though. Southgate's team won't have Grealish in it.
Did
That's
what, Prime?
criminal.
Grealish got the number 7, so he has to play.
Wow.
Play in midfield though. He's been in midfield.
He's playing
both
Sterling.
games.
But then again, Foden got the Gaza haircut, so he has to play.
Oh,
Oh
god damn
my
it.
god.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not even Gaza haircut. It's
That's the thing to
grey.
do.
It's a shit haircut. That's what it is.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I agree with Diana. I don't like. I know Southgate is gonna probably play him, but Mount in there. There's so much better that you can put in there.
Yeah, Grealish is better.
Yeah.
Charlie, part of the channel, the EFL show on a Monday, is
Oh, yeah.
actually he's getting the Gaza Foden cut. He's getting it dyed. He's getting it cut. And
Why?
he only lives 10 minutes. Wow, because he said if he gets 100 likes on Twitter, I think he said if he gets 100 likes on Twitter, he's going to do it. But
Yeah.
he was going to get 100 likes, so I think he wants to use it as an excuse to get the haircut for England. That's what I'm going with anyway. But he only lives 10 minutes down the road from me, so I'm going to try and blag him up to do it at lunchtime or something. And I'm
Please
going
take a
to.
pic.
Oh no, I'm thinking we'll stream it live.
Yay! All right, cool, awesome.
Yeah, that would be funny. That would be
Yeah, but,
funny.
or we're just me and him will just go to a pub. I'll take him to the Robins pub because he's a Bristol Rovers fan. So I'll take him to the City pub and make him sit there and watch it.
No, that would
Awesome.
be really funny actually.
Anyway, so who's left wing?
Sterling.
Really? After the season he's just had?
That's what Southgate. Prime, you're not asking for my team. You're asking for Southgate's team. I'm telling you what Southgate will do. This is why England. You know what? You should name this XI. Why England won't win Euro 2021. That's exactly what you should name this team.
Wait, did you
This is
put Mount in
Southgate's
it?
team,
Is Mount in
ladies
there?
and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He's gonna start Mount.
Yeah, Mount's. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And it's not that Mount. It's not that Mount is the problem. Is that he'll try and find a way to fit Mount in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Southgate probably has that picture of Mason Mount with the Champions League on his wall.
Foden,
The Bundesliga would help me.
Oh my.
Oh, we're not doing this again.
my
Oh,
God.
and then you missing this. We basically just had Bundes streams at this point. All the comments.
€50 to shave your hair. Why would that be a forfeit? I would agree to.
That's not a good
Ireland
one.
win the Euros, will you shave your hair? Oh wait.
No,
not
Prime just puts his hood up all day anyway.
If
That's not actually a hoodie; it's a sleeping bag. He just lies backwards and goes to sleep. Wakes up, sits back up, and turns his computer back on.
you know what,
That's all that happens.
if England win the Euros, but okay. If England win the Euros, we'll have a forfeit for Indiana or Rachel on the channel.
What?
What sort of forfeit?
Anyway, thanks everyone for watching.
No, wait, Prime. Wait. Guys, we are doing a Euro Fantasy League. The link and the code is in the description. So make sure you sign up for that if you're interested.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll see how everyone does. I've got a couple of outlandish sort of options personally. But yeah, make sure you click on that and let us know sort of what your picks are and that. And hopefully, well, I don't know if we're going to do anything for the winner, actually. What should we do for the winner? We haven't decided yet. Well,
What do you mean outlandish options?
you will see. I may have a North Macedonia player in there.
Valve,
Anyway.
Valve, I'm telling you, Valve, I'm telling you right now, I am doing absolutely nothing for your pleasure. You can stop this right now. I'm not that guy. This is not OnlyFans. It's the wrong guy.
Trust me, no one's getting pleasure from that.
Man wants him to work, bro.
I think Valve is. He's begging for it.
Indiana's got to build up that bunda, though, before he does the twerking.
I ain't doing
No, can you stop it? You're making me sick. I don't want to think about his bunda.
Nah, Indiana's pleasure comes from Prime's nipple.
Wow.
Guys, this is a
Not
bit
like
too
this.
dodgy. Bit too dodgy at this
Yeah,
point.
not like this.
Yeah, not like this. Come on.
Anyway,
A bit too dodgy. Rachel was trying to outro in such a peaceful way, and then the shitstorm happened.
I'm not allowed. That's what it is. I'm just not allowed.
Thank you everyone for watching the last video to ever appear on the channel. Can you let us know where we can find you?
Oh, just like that suddenly. You can find me at This Is Football. I just so unexpected. Anyway, my channel is called This Is Football. It's for all football fans, not just a specific group. Everyone can come on and come watch. And tomorrow I'm interviewing lead judges, so come and watch me tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. So that's
check that
my
out,
channel.
people.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Definitely watch that.
Oh,
Gooner Express.
right. Yeah, on YouTube at the Gooner Express, on Twitter and Instagram at GoonerExpress_, and you can usually find me on a gal's channel ranting about Arsenal pretty much. So go check me out on any of them platforms, and appreciate you guys having me on again.
Rachel?
Oh no, everyone knows where they can find me. I'm basically on this channel and at the Devil's Avocado on Twitter and Instagram. But yeah, obviously Indiana and Prime are the same. Prime's on Football Terrace, and so is Indiana. Bossman, we want you back soon, regularly.
I will be soon.
But talk to us quickly about your top 6 show that you want to do. And let everyone know.
Yeah, so we're going to start a top 6 show probably Tuesday nights. I think we were saying. So the top 6, it'd be myself representing Man United. We'll have somebody come and represent Chelsea, someone represent Liverpool, someone represent Arsenal, and somebody represent Leicester. And yeah, should be good.
You heard him correctly.
Yeah, Tottenham ain't a big club. Tottenham ain't a big club.
Top
That's
6.
why.
And that's what I'm going with.
Oh,
Tottenham have officially been replaced by Leicester.
Speaking of top 6, Arsenal, next season is your last season. So if you don't get top 6, you're relegated.
I'll allow it, man. Arteta attacks.
Arteta attacks. McFred tax, as Indiana would say.
Swear to God,
Fred
Chelsea
tax.
fans use all this Lampard tax, so I'm using Arteta tax, man. He's trash.
Yeah, but with Lampard tax, we still won a championship. So that's that we can speak.
Shut up, man.
Anyway, tune in tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow? Oh yeah,
Tomorrow is the offside rule. Yeah, it's the offside rule. Ladies show. Myself, Jan, Lam, Charlotte, maybe Tans as well. And yeah, that's our sort of little squad. We might be asking Maya to come on as well. Hopefully she's available. But yeah, this should be a good show. It's always amusing. The ladies show.
That's
a lot of
fun
banter.
show. That is a fun show.
Should be interesting.
Great show to watch.
Yeah.
Friday is Fraud Watch. We're back. I don't think we did one last week. Actually, no, we probably did. But
Yeah, we did. We did do one last week.
Friday's one will be interesting. I've got an interesting topic in mind for that. And on Saturday, Tweet of the Week.
Prime,
What?
shouldn't it be England frauds or something? Have we done England frauds? Like the players that then pick the managers, the systems, like the biggest frauds that have happened around England and international tournaments.
We should definitely do one of those at some point. I know Pam's going to pick Gerard instantly.
You know what? We can do that one when England get knocked out. But I was thinking we, the most fraudulent players that I've got picked to play in the Euros, not just for England, but in this tournament, from all other nations, who do we think are the most fraudulent players that get picked? Because I've got quite an interesting one. And on Saturday will be Tweets of the Week.
That's back.
A few interesting tweets for that. I've got a good one I've been saying now for about 2 weeks that we haven't been able to use, which is now annoying. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and share. And peace.